Adam, the White-Hair Master. Episode 1. Hello, today I'm gonna tell you a bit about my past. This all began when I was in primary school. Look, Adam is bullying again. Adam was my classmate. I had no idea why the gang in my school constantly bullied him. Well, it might be because they were gangsters. They didn't need a reason to bully someone. They just did bully people because they liked it. They kept their hands in their pockets, find excellent students to bully. My friend walked next to me, asked my opinions to come to help Adam out. At that moment, in front of the gang, I had to think for my safety, so I told him to ignore what he saw and let things go since they were violent gangsters. I would not care about other people even they were in danger in front of me. I was so afraid those gangsters would come after me on my way home if I gave a hand to any of their bullied victims. It turned out Adam was bullied because of his weird appearance. They called Adam a freaking monster, and they provoked him to stand up and fight them back. That day was a lucky day for Adam. A teacher walked by them and saw those gangsters were bullying Adam. He tried to stop them. That was just a little luck in a while. If no one saw him being bullied, Adam would get lots of injuries from those gangsters. The kind teacher came to him, lifted him up, and asked if he was okay. Adam replied to the teacher he was fine. I remembered why Adam was bullied in such that frequent. He got albinism. All of his hair was white. Even his eyebrows were also white. I hadn't noticed that until hearing those gangsters called him a monster. Adam had no friends, which was also why those gangsters targeted him, since they knew there would be no one to stand up for him. He was all alone by himself all the time. On the last day of my primary school, I had seen Adam was bullied by those gangsters once again in a quiet alley. I had thought that was the last time I saw him. My best friend and I stood by at that alley's corner and saw it all. One of those gangsters grabbed Adam's collar and yelled at him. He demanded Adam repeat something. At that moment, Adam was so pathetic that there were many wounds on his face. He was even bleeding. Adam replied to him. Adam demanded that he stops his bullying actions and better take care of himself. There was a ghost following the gangster. The gangster would pay off for what he had done. Adam was very sure that the ghost was one of the gang's victims, who had been so depressed and already killed himself. I was amazed at what Adam had replied to them. What the ghost here? Adam said that there was a ghost following one of the gangsters there, and he was gonna pay off very soon. Those words pissed the gangster up, and he has angrily kept beating Adam. Adam told him that he was gonna die in the next 3 days. The gangster was very exacerbated, but he still got a bit frightened. He shouted out at Adam how dare Adam trash talk to him and threatened to beat him to death. Seeing their friend was so exacerbated, the other 2 gang members had been afraid that he would kill the poor guy, so they tried to hold their friend back. After beating Adam, he finally let him go. The gang left Adam there alone. That was the last time I saw Adam in my primary school days. He was so pathetic back to the day. But we just stood there and didn't give him a hand because we were so weak in front of the gang. 3 days after, the gangster who beaten Adam had died eventually. He was drowned when he swam out at the river. Adam quitted school, and since then, I have no news from him. Those were my unforgettable childhood memories. Now let's get back to me at the current time. I'll tell you about my girlfriend's story. She is Sophia, a romance novel writer. She is working online and being at home all the time. One day, while focusing on writing her novel, she got shivers down her spine. She turned back and saw something falling out through the windows and looked like a man. Something was falling down and made a very loud noise that made her lost her focus. She came close to the windows. She thought that must have been something very heavy since the noise was too loud. She opened the windows and saw a hand which was reaching her. After opened the door widened, Sophia screamed out terribly. There was a man just falling to her balcony from an extreme high. The man was likely to die already, blood everywhere on her balcony's floor. Sophia rushed to her apartment, picked her phone, and gave me a call. I told her to call the police first, and I reached her apartment 15 minutes later. At that time, I saw the police had come. After a deep investigation, the police had informed us of the result of their investigation. The man was living in an apartment upstairs. He was coincidentally falling to Sophia's balcony due to his carelessness. That was just an accident. That night, I stayed over at Sophia's apartment to watch her out. The day after, I headed home. A few days after, during writing her novel, Sophia got another shiver down to her spines. She saw a shadow falling out of her windows. And there was a very similar sound to the day she reported the accident. Sophia got no guts to come to the windows. She left her seat and stepped back. Out of the blue, she saw someone appeared at her window. Who is that?" she yelled out and nearly scared a shit out of her when seeing the thing came closer to the glass of the windows. It was clearer and clearer. She saw a man. The man reached his hands and pushed the window. That man was the dead man earlier. His head was stiff. That seemed his neck had been broken because of the falling. Sophia was too scared to stand. She fell to the ground. The man opened the window successfully and weirdly crawled into her apartment. His bones had been likely to be broken as well. He crawled towards Sophia. She was so scared and got panicked. He nearly caught Sophia. Her survival skills rose up. She stood up and ran towards the door. At that moment, I had left my office and reached her place to check her out. Right after I tended to knock on the door, I saw her running out, hiding behind my back and shaking so bad. She told me what she had seen earlier. I didn't believe her at first. I thought she was obsessed with the accident earlier. Seeing she was shaking, I tried to comfort her and touch the doorknob. Even though I didn't believe her, I hesitated what it could be behind the door. And then, I just saw an empty room. I gave a sigh of relief and comforted her when seeing the empty room. I told her she was just overthinking and being obsessed with the horrible accident earlier. Sophia was still unable to calm down. She terrified and repeatedly assured me that she didn't mistake. She had seen that thing and convinced me to believe what she had told me. She came to the windows. It was all locked. There was no sign of force opened as before. "All right, I think there is a man who could help us to sort this out." Sophia was so obsessed with that accident. I couldn't let her be like that. I have heard that a psychic could sort those spiritual things out, so I tried to contact the psychic. I called him through the phone, told him that I need his help, and gave him our address. He would be at our place in a sec. Then the psychic came to our place. I hope he could help us. I was very surprised when seeing the psychic who was standing in front of me. Adam, the bully victim, back to the day. That was such a long time I haven't seen Adam, and at that time, Adam had changed a lot though. He got more confident and far more different from the old Adam at primary school I had known. I introduced to Sophia that Adam and I were childhood friends, that we have studied in the same class at primary school. Adam told us that he could saw Sophia's status wasn't good, and with what he had heard through the phone, he suggested that Sophia needed a little adjustment. I told Adam that Sophia was so terrified for days. Adam came towards the windows and carefully looked around. He told us something was wrong. I asked him what the wrong thing. If Sophia wasn't paranoid, it might be we all knew, but I would like to see what Adam would do next. Adam told me that there was something dirty in the apartment. He was definitely mentioning that thing. He was just like the others, tried to avoid calling it out, and made it less serious. Sophia turned to me and blamed me for not believing her at first. I was nearly convinced, but I didn't want to believe what he mentioned. So I asked Adam why he could assure that there was something dirty and how I could believe that thing was really happening to us. Adam wasn't annoyed by my questions. He gave me a smile and asked me if I really needed to see that thing. I told Adam that I wanted to see that dirty thing with my own eyes and asked him rather prove that it was real. Adam picked something from his bag out and asked me to stay focused. He picked out a small bag which I was not sure what was inside. He came closer to the windows and opened the bag out, which turned out was a bag of flour. He blew it lightly. The flour flew out everywhere then. Then he poured the flour on the floor as well. He asked us if we could see anything. We nearly missed seeing that thing. From the windows to the floor, there were a bunch of footsteps and fingerprints. There were also some blood traces. It looked like someone had crawled to the apartment through the windows. At that time, I scarily looked at Adam and asked him what we should do. Adam calmed us down. He told us to stay calm. That was not a big deal. Sophia just saw that dirty thing because she was too worried and scared of it. That thing would not harm Sophia. But I was so afraid that it would harm her since my girlfriend's emotions were so unstable. She was obviously unable to get that thing away from her head. Especially there was a confirmation about that thing's existence from Adam. How could that thing not harm her? Adam told me he would help us, and everything would back to the way it was very soon. That thing would not touch a finger on my girlfriend. Adam gave me a weird bracelet. He asked Sophia to wear that bracelet until she doesn't have any shivers. He suggested that I stay over at her place to watch her out, and everything would be fine. That bracelet could help her get back to normal. Then Adam said goodbye to us. He told us he had another work to do. I ran after and escorted him downstairs. I asked Adam why he followed that career path. I was very surprised though. I felt that Adam had been through a lot. Adam started to talk about his master happily. Grace was all over his face. He thought he was so lucky to meet his teacher, an outstanding teacher. He had raised Adam to be a strong man. I asked Adam how long he has been working as a psychic. I felt very professional and got so much confidence in his job. I realized that Adam wasn't a shy little boy anymore. His psychic job played a vital role in making his personality. Adam was thrilled with the job. He could work and help people at the same time. When reaching the apartment's gate, Adam asked me to better get back to my girlfriend and call him when I get in any problems. He would willingly help me out. Then Adam left. I have met him up multiple times since then, and he is indeed a big help to me. Adam, the White Hair Master. Episode 1. Hello, today I'm gonna tell you a bit about my past. This all began when I was in primary school. Look, Adam is bullying again. Adam was my classmate.